Now it's time to go to the campus of Illinois State University. Let's say hi to these two guys, Mike Lederman and Jack McInerney. Good evening, guys, or good morning, guys.
Well, good night anyway, whatever you got, Steve. Good to be here. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Mike Lederman along with Jack McInerney getting set for a whole weekend of football fun right here at Bloomington Normal. And things, Jack, as far as this tournament's concerned, have gone pretty much as normal.
We've really had a great state tournament thus far. We've had great teams throughout the entire brackets, and they've come down to the final day right here. Today and tomorrow, we've got great football in store for us.
Well, we'll be bringing you the 1A, 3A, and 5A games. Tom Stocker, Steve Mays will be bringing you the 2, 4, and 6A games. We start out with the smallest schools, 1A. Just because they're small schools doesn't mean they don't play big football.
Absolutely not. We have outstanding players throughout, and this is a game where something's got to give. Both teams are undefeated. They play outstanding football. They both have great quarterbacks. It should be a great game.
Hardin, Calhoun. Hardin is down around the St. Louis area. Against North Boone, that's around the Rockford area, so it's north against the south. And as far as North Boone is concerned, their big gun is their quarterback, Scott Klicko, number 11.
Well, really, he is the catalyst of this ball club. He has thrown for over 1,400 yards in, as far as throwing the ball, and 17 touchdown passes. He's rushed for over 13 touchdowns. He really is the catalyst right here for this offense.
As far as Hardin Calhoun is concerned, a more balanced attack, but their quarterback, J.D. Lorton, a little dinged up, but they've got him starting today, and they hope that he will continue to keep them undefeated.
Well, you know, he really does a great job. He's third in tackles on the team. He does the kicking. He's the second leading rusher, obviously the top passer. He does an awful lot for them, and it'll all start with him.
Well, we will have it all for you, the opening lineups and the kickoff, because right now, let's go to the public address, and here is Steve Adams.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing the coaches and players for this Class 1A state championship game featuring the Vikings of North Boone and the Warriors of Hardin. For the Warriors, Rick John. Brandenburg. Meet the players at left hand, number 60, Shad Burris. At left tackle, number 73, Jason Tapin. At right tackle, number 72, Aaron Elmore. At right end, number 55, Chad Squire. At linebacker, number 1, Tony Friedel. At linebacker, number 3, Nate Lorton. At linebacker, number 11, Casey Longnecker. At defensive back, 36, Nathan Grimes. At defensive back, number 82, Jeff Gress. At defensive back, number 84, Jason Clucky. And at safety, number 9, J.D. Lorton. These are the Warriors of Hardin Calhoun High School. And now, let's meet the starting offensive lineup for North Boone. First, introducing the head coach, Dale Purvis. At tight end, number 83, Brian Reininger. At left tackle, number 60, John Lask. At left guard, number 62, Kevin Pilgreen. At center, number 73, Alan Anderson. At right guard, number 68, Darrell Paulson. At right tackle, number 65, Brian Morlock. At split end, number 13, Eric Drake. At quarterback, number 11, Scott Klicko. At halfback, number 40, John Barker. At powerback, number 88, Don Herman. And at fullback, number 33, Vance Hurst. Those are the Vikings of North Boone High School of Poplar Grove. And now, ladies ladies and gentlemen, introducing the officials for this 1A state championship game.
The casualties, unfortunately, of football, but he's all right and he's ready to go. Joe Passion. Joe, first you got to tell us how you messed up your leg.
All right, well, I've gone from dashing Joe Passion to Hop-Along Joe in 3 short weeks. A little sandlot football accident, but nonetheless, there should be no accidents here. Field is in great condition. The AstroTurf is dry. Weather conditions, though, will be cold and a bit windy. About 35 degrees or so down here at field here on this Friday morning. The winds are coming out of the southwest at about 10-12 mile an hour. Be a crosswind from the far side of the field here to the near side of the field. Now, about these two teams, first off, for the Vikings, now they are from the northern part of the state, just west of Rockford, and have a big group of people up here, including their coach. Now, they shut out one of their opponents. They come in here with a great defense, and you see by the scores, they also can put some offense on the board. Now, for the Warriors of Hardin Calhoun, like their opponents here today, played great defense. They shut out 2 of their opponents coming into this game. They're from the southeastern part of the state, just north of St. Louis. 2 shutouts for them. They also put up some points. Their offense has been struggling somewhat. By the way, their quarterback, Casey Longnecker, sore throat today, but he's going to be all right. Back upstairs to you guys.
All right, we're all set for the kickoff. On your left, Hardin Calhoun in the black. Ball being teed up there by the sophomore kickoff specialist. Terry Don Smith, there are your deep men. Scott Klicko at the top of your picture. Vance Hurst, number 33 at the bottom. And we are all set to go here with state championship action. Kick carries Klicko on his own 8. And Scott Klicko, a good return, gets it across the 30-yard line. And that is where
For North Boone, he was tackled by number 67.
the offense for North Boone will start out. Tackle made by Wayne Ballman, backup lineman for Hardin Calhoun. So they will go into action with Klicko, the quarterback, Vance Hurst, John Barker. Barker, the big ground gainer, Dan Herman, the power back, Reininger and Drake are the receivers. And they line up in a power I. The power back, number 88, Dan Herman, used primarily as a blocking back. The tailback is Barker, number 40, and Barker will take the first handoff. Ooh,
Ball to the ground
by a host of Vikings, and look out. The Warriors have already forced the fumble, and they have recovered inside the 30-yard line of North Boone. That is Nate Lorton, number 3, and he is there. We'll show you when Barker coughs up the ball on this big hit, Jack.
He really gets stuck right here. It's a power-off tackle. He tries to bounce outside. You can see right there, linebacker coming up, putting the helmet just the way you teach it during summer practice. Put your helmet right on the ball. He does it. Great turnover early.
And the hit, it looks like it was made by number 55, Chad Squire. And here, the offense stopped very quickly as Brian Morlock comes up to put the brakes on Hardin Calhoun. And there is J.D. Lorton. Lorton, a senior, 160 pounds. Tony Friedel has become the big back. Ryan Becker, just a sophomore in there. Nate Lorton, younger brother of J.D., and Plucky and Gress will catch the ball on occasion. They come out with a full house backfield and a double slide on the give. Straight up the middle it goes to the fullback, Tony Friedel.
Friedel's the big man in this offense because he's the leading rusher and has an outstanding year all year long, over 1,100 yards, 20 touchdowns.
There's the offensive line. Rose Burris, Chad Squire, Joe Friedel, no relation, and Jason Tapin, the right tackle. Second down, call it a gain of 1. They go to a double slot. They break out of the wishbone with the 2 backs outside the tackles. And once again, straight ahead is Tony Friedel. And once again, he is met big time by the middle of that North Boone offensive line. 73, Alan Anderson and Dan Herman. Anchors of that defense right there. Herman, Dahlberg, Anderson, Reininger, Barker, Pilgreen, and Brian Morlock. And the secondary, Hurst, Jason Blue, Jeff Garrick, and Scott Klicko.
Long field goal attempt here, but he does have the wind, somewhat of a crosswind.
This is Terry Don Smith. He has kicked 1 this year. It was a big one. It helped beat our call, and we get flags before the kick goes up. That was going to be about a 41-yarder, and let's see what the call is here.
It's going to be a procedure call against Boone. broke the plane, and of course we mentioned this earlier, in high school football all you have to do is cross the line. You do not have to make contact. That's a 5-yard penalty. Now they're going to go for it.
That'll give them about a 4th and a long one.
Watch the right side of your screen here. You'll see the movement. Not there, not there, right there. The right tackle trying to get in that seam to block that kick.
And once even the defensive person crosses that neutral zone, it's an automatic penalty. You can't jump back like you can in the pros. 4th down. And this is the sophomore Becker, and Ryan Becker gets the first down inside the 20 to about the 17.
Took a little of the North Boone offense there and went to a power eye to pick up that first down.
Ryan Morlock in on the stop, and it's a first down just outside the 15-yard line. Rick Johns, the coach of Hardin Calhoun, will alternate his ends to bring in plays depending on which side of the field that is closer to the bench. So Jeff Gress comes in to bring the play in. Again, they go to the power eye. Normally a wishbone team. Once again, Becker, who's the tailback, and Becker with room over the left side. Jason Blue brings him down, but a good gain of about 5 yards just outside the 10.
There's a senior trying to give the sophomore a little encouragement right here. Here's a good look at Rick Johns. They've been here before. They won the state championship in 1987. The last 2 years, they've gotten to the state semifinals, so they know what it's like to play in the big ball games.
Gain of 4, call it 2nd and 6, and again they come to power eye with Becker, the tailback. Good look at J.D. Lorton. Nate Lorton in motion, and again they give it to the sophomore. And Becker, first down yardage inside the 5. Scott Glicko coming up from his secondary spot to make the tackle. Meanwhile, Ryan Becker, who's the sophomore and the 3rd leading ball carrier here, has been getting the yeoman yardage. Let's take a look at the officials now, led by referee Robert McDowell. McDowell from Mattoon, and there's the rest of the 5-man crew. 3rd down, just a little short of a yard to go. Nate Lorton in motion.
He's got a man open.
He's got a man wide open, Gress, and Gress overthrown. He had about a couple of yards on the defender right there. Jeff Gress caught 4 passes so far, 3 for touchdowns, and he almost had 1 more right there, but the ball overthrown.
See all the decals on his helmet there. He was a small school all-stater. You'll see the play-action fake right here. They've been running that play the entire series. Now they come back. This is just what we call a bootleg or a naked, a tight end going to the outside, and he just got overthrown.
Again, a 4th down play with a little less than a yard to go. This time they go straight with the fullback, and the fullback, Tony Friedel, in there for a 1st and goal. He's met by about 3 different tacklers, but not before he picked up the first down there. Friedel's numbers, over 1,100 yards rushing.
Normally you can tell how active players are nowadays by looking at their helmet. See the type of decals they got, which are all incentive awards throughout the season, and tell how active they've been on offense and defense.
They split Jason Clucky to the right. 1st and goal on the option play, and the fullback Tony Friedel doesn't get much, maybe a yard. Glicko, Scott Glicko coming up to make the stop. There is Tony Friedel, 6'1", 200-pounder. Big guy, especially in the small school range as a back.
It's also nice to have a junior fullback. You can see they're just going right off tackle with him. They're blocking down, walling off the interior and trying to find a seam for him. He's been their leading rusher all season.
Power eye formation again. The give to the tailback, Becker, and Becker doesn't get much, if anything. Met by, looks like John Lask, number 60, along with Brian Morlock.
Right here you can see great penetration right here by the outside linebacker. Slows them down and a pursuit comes in. Both these teams really have gotten here through great defense the entire season.
3rd and goal from the 2. There's Dale Purvis, the coach of North Boone. His defense is putting on a stand right here. They go double slot now. And the fullback. Touchdown, Hardin Calhoun, Tony Friedel.
Nothing fancy there, just the fullback right over the guard, kind of wedge blocking for a yard and a big touchdown.
Tony Friedel, his 22nd touchdown of the season.
You can see right here, he just cuts back, but he just lowers that shoulder, and any fullback that's 200 pounds and can't get a yard, he ought to be playing guard.
Terry Don Smith is on to try the extra point. 6:48 to go. And Hardin Calhoun has struck first off the turnover. Left-footed kick by Terry Don Smith is good. They'll come back up the field with the score. Hardin Calhoun 7, North Boone nothing. As you can see, something's got to give, and already Hardin Calhoun has done some pushing, Jack.
Well, you know, we talked about this in the open, Mike. The key to both of these teams, even though they score a lot of points, is they play great defense, and it really has come down to two undefeated teams with great defenses. Something has to give. That's the theme song for this game.
Hurst and Klicko are deep. Here is Smith's kick, and this one goes right down the middle, and it will be Hurst. And Hurst, big hit by number 85, Tim Nelson. And the ball will be North Boone's at the 24-yard line. A 19-yard return. And once again, the offense. Look at this hit by Nelson.
Right on the numbers. Number to number. He's not going anywhere there. Nice job. He breaks down right here. Doesn't allow him to get to that seam in the wall. Nice open field tackle.
All right, North Boone gave up the ball on his first offensive play. They'll start again deep in their own territory. Once again, it's Hurst. And Vance Hurst gets some good yardage here across the 30. Brought down by number 82, Jeff Gress, along with Tim Nelson, number 85. Take a look at the offensive line again. Lask, Green, Allen Anderson, Paulson, and Brian Morlock. Again, most of these two-way players, as most of the teams at this level do play both ways, offensively and defensively. Scott Klicko, 5'10", senior quarterback, brings them out. They're in the power eye. And Klicko running the option, and he gives it to Barker at the last second, and Barker gets up to the 35, met there by Chad Squire. It will bring up third down and about 2.
That's been a great combination all year. Of course, Barker has 1,300 yards and 16 touchdowns, and Klicko has 13 touchdowns. So we're looking at a great combination.
Looking at the defense, Burris, Tapin, Elmore, Squire, Friedel, Nate Lorton, and Casey Longnecker is also the backup quarterback. Rhymes, Gress, Jason Clockey, and J.D. Lorton, the quarterback, plays out there at safety. 2nd and 2. And into the secondary is the quarterback running the option, Scott Klicko. And he's brought down by Tim Nelson. We've been calling Nelson's number a lot. Tim Nelson, number 85 in there. 6'1", 185-pound defensive end. And also plays on the offense. 1st and 10 from the 41-yard line. North Boone on its second offensive series. A lot longer than the first. Here's the pitch to Barker, trying to get around the right side. And Gress knocks him out of bounds after Clucky slowed him up. Jeff Gress, all-state defensive back. Coach calls him the best back in the whole St. Louis area, big school or small, as you look at John Barker.
Nice toss out here. He's got the fullback leading and the guard. Gives a good move inside to set up the block, and then bends it outside. Turns up the corner. Nice hit to bounce him out of bounds, about 3 yards short of that first down.
Barker in the slot to the left. Receivers split left and right. Single back offense, and right up the middle is Klicko. And you can see the versatility of Klicko. Chad Squire makes the stop. But again, it's a first down for North Boone. A look at Dale Purvis, the second-year head coach. Not a bad record at any level.
Boy, I guess.
As his mother said, one little game he couldn't win, huh?
Wonder if they know him in town.
They go to the spread. On the shotgun, 1st and 10. Klicko with time. Looking out here, complete for Brian Reininger. Casey Longnecker in there to stop him, along with Nathan Grimes, number 36, the cornerback. And Klicko had all day, and he's mixing up his plays well.
Interesting that they all of a sudden, they have everybody in tight with the power I formation. Then out of nowhere on a good drive where they've been moving the ball, they go to the the shotgun. Now this ball looks like it takes all day to get out there, but he's wide open, makes a nice catch. Interesting how they're changing up. Now they're going again to the one back with a double slot.
13-yard pickup, and it's 1st and 10. Klicko again with the option, and this time he is stopped at the line of scrimmage. J.D. Lorton coming up to put the brakes on Scott Klicko.
What he's trying to do here is, because of the ability of Klicko, is to spread out the defense with that double slot and get those people, linebackers, off the ball and give them an opportunity to find that seam on the option.
No gain. 2nd and 10 from the 30-yard line of Hardin Calhoun. Klicko again with the play fake. Again, he's got time, but receivers are covered, and look at Klicko. Ball is loose, and I think Klicko's got it. Now it's loose again. Scott Klicko gets down near 1st down yardage, coughed up the ball, but I believe he got his own fumble back.
This is what gives coaches gray hairs. He got it back. Watch him tuck it out. If the tight end was covered here, he does a great job, but he's got to put the ball away here. He's running downfield, and that's why he lost the ball. He had it out. Now here is a Thanksgiving hop. Look at where the ball is. Now that is great dexterity. He makes the recovery with his kneecaps.
Not easy to do when 3 guys are leaning on you and you're on the ground out of control. So
well, that's great coaching. They probably worked on that.
That's it. That's what Dale Purvis said, huh? He is very, very happy with Scott Klicko. He said he is absolutely versatile and a pleasure to coach. 1st and 10 from the 17. This is Barker. Barker gives it up again, and this time the ball is free. Hardin Calhoun had it. Second fumble by Barker, and Barker is not known for fumbling. They are hitting out there, and it looks like North Boone has retained possession.
Again, the power of the toss. He's got a lot of people out in front of him. He cuts back. Ball's in good position, but just again, the helmet on the football. Watch this. He covered and lost right here, and now North Boone gets it back.
Shad Burris had a shot at it for Hardin Calhoun after Tony Friedel made the big hit. Meanwhile, it's a gain of 2, and here's Klicko again. Again, his receivers are covered, and Klicko, look at him dance. Throws this one in the direction, and almost caught coming back to the ball was the power back, Dan Herman. Herman, who is usually out there blocking, was alone, came back to the ball.
Here's a scramble drill, and we actually work on these things. When the quarterback is in trouble, you can see he's very casual over there, and he's sliding. You keep on moving. Now it turns into PE football. Get an open spot. Try and get rid of that ball.
I like that.
The routes go to naught, and we try to scramble to get open.
3rd and 8. They'll work from the shotgun. Klicko again with time. And down he goes at the 15-yard line, well short of the 1st down. He picked up about 3. Aaron Elmore, and a good job by the secondary of Hardin Calhoun. They're really covering Klicko's receivers.
He's got a guy open here, but you got to remember, as we see it from up here, there are people open, but he's got people rushing him. A couple times it looks like he is trying to run before he is trying to throw, and he is missing these guys that are open. But again, it's easy for me to say up here, nobody's rushing me, except you, Mike.
Well, they have a field goal kicker, and it's Klicko. He's going to try it from about 31 yards away. Into the wind, and it's good.
He does it all.
Scott Klicko comes in with the field goal, his 4th in 4 tries this season from 31 yards away, so the drive results in 3 points. 2 minutes, 15 seconds to go, 1st quarter, and Scott Klicko isn't happy, but he's got his team on the board to the tune of a 7-3 deficit.
Now we can see where counseling comes in by the coach, trying to settle down that quarterback. You got a long ball game ahead of you. He's rather upset because he didn't spot those open receivers, but you came out of it with some points, and that's the key.
Throwing into that wind, which is deceptive. You know, it looks like he was throwing right into the wind, which of course swirls around that field. Also, that field has got a real high crown, and these teams have not played on turf before, and that also might have affected his arc.
You know, we talked about that before. When you're in between the hash marks and throwing the ball, and a receiver runs an out route, he literally is going downhill away from the quarterback, who is up higher because of the crown. So consequently, the throws often are high because of the type of crown receiver going down and away.
Especially in the 1st quarter. These teams have played strictly on grass. In the last couple of weeks throughout the state, it has been more like a mudslide. Sanchez to kick off for North Boone. Jerry Sanchez kicking off to Ryan Becker, number 42, and Jason Clucky, number 84. Into the wind, and this one will come up short. Becker at his own 16. And Ryan Becker, the sophomore, again a good return across the 30, where Hardin Calhoun, which scored on its last drive. 15-yard return. Hardin Calhoun will start again with a 7-3 lead. Well, the action as we expected is moving along, but we've seen more throwing than you usually find in the 1A games.
Well, when it comes to a game like this where both defenses are really tough, you really have to spread them out a little bit and keep them on their toes.
Double slot formation, Nate Lorton, and the give after Lorton's in motion, and the give is to the fullback. Once again, Tony Friedel. And Friedel across the 35. Vance Hurst making the stop. Hardin Calhoun said it was getting sick and tired of being out-muscled by a lot of schools, so they have added some big guys and a little weight training. You can see it's paid off the last couple of years with appearances in the semifinals, and here they are in the finals again. 2nd and 5. Defense of North Boone rising up. Dan Herman coming in to make the stop, as Lorton doesn't get much, if anything. Bring it to 3rd down.
You can hear the popping up here, and we're about 3 stories up here in the press box, and they're doing some real popping, as indicated by the early fumbles.
Well, North Boone's defensive average only about 173 pounds per man, but boy, are they doing it. 3 wide receivers to the right, and the option from Lorton to Lorton, and younger Lorton is thrown for a loss. John Barker coming up from his linebacker spot. Another big play by North Boone's defense. It'll bring up a punting situation, 4th down.
Well, they do it on defense. You know, coaches always talk about getting to these ball games with great defense, and both these teams are doing an outstanding job early here in the ball game.
Scott Clicko will be back at double safety along with John Barker to receive the punt from Casey Longnecker. Number 11, the backup quarterback, hangs it up. Good kick, takes an HC bounce. Ooh. And look at this one.
That's an AstroTurf bounce all the way.
Down inside the 20 to the 15. Look out. And it waving it along. This is going to take the wind with it down to the 10. When you get down to 8, you better sell. Look at this.
That's what I do with my golf ball.
Look at
Never
this
pick it
throw.
up.
Yeah.
Now see this guy. Oh.
To the 5-yard line, a 60-yard punt, and I'd say at least 25 of that was in the air.
That is one of the reasons why coaches always say if you play on AstroTurf, I'd rather have a kid back there that'll be a possession man and catch the ball and not let it hit, rather than somebody that's a run-back person and is kind of leery of catching the ball, because that was a 30-yard roll after it hit the ground.
There's Casey Longnecker with the long punt. So that's the end of the first quarter. That punt also might have been the longest in terms of time in history. Coaches will talk to their teams, and we'll talk to you a little bit. Be back in a second. Well, you want to see an AstroTurf roll? This is Casey Longnecker's punt. As we said, 25 yards in the air, and the rest, like 35 yards, all the way down. And Jackie made a good point. The defensive team can down it. The offense better stay away in a situation like this.
Now watch this. It continues to roll, and you'll see somebody.
Anybody for curling?
From North Boone coming into the picture, and he wanted to down the ball. I mean, he would have had a long bus ride home had he done that.
Absolutely. Meanwhile, North Boone starts on its own 5-yard line, and once again, Scott Clicko with the controls. And the give is to number 88, the power back, Dan Herman. Herman with a rare carry. They use him mostly to block, and there is your score. Hardin Calhoun 7-3 as we begin the second quarter. Mike Liederman along with Jack McInerney, Bob Albrecht, our producer director in the truck. There's a fly on the window, and all kinds of good things are happening today.
Did Fly have a snowmobile suit on? It's awful cold up here.
It's a little like Jeff Goldblum, if you remember the movie. Anyway, here's Barker looking for the first down on 2nd and 2. Nate Lorton comes up to meet him. Lorton 165 and Barker 180. And Lorton keeps him from the first, so it'll be 3rd and 1. Meanwhile, we'll give you an idea of what's going on the rest of the day. The two-way contest follows this, Richmond Burton and Moweaqua Central. At 4:30, we'll be back, Jack and I, to bring you the Indians against the Indians. And that's in 3A, Marengo against DuQuoin. And then we'll have the 4A game following that on Sports Channel Plus tonight. Here is Barker up and over as J.D. Lorton submarined him, but not before North Boone has itself another first down. John Barker with a couple of fumbles in the first quarter. Got to keep his hands on the football for Dale Purvis.
He's got running room here. If he gets a better block downfield on the stalk, he's got some running room, but nice job by the defensive back squeezing that in.
Eric Drake trying to throw a block there. Longnecker came up to make the stop. So first down from the 18-yard line. Nice over the middle, complete to Jason Blue, number 20, and Blue has caught 6 touchdowns this year. That's his 12th reception. Jeff Gress coming up to make the stop. Clicko clicks.
Gets him right over the middle, right underneath the safety, and here comes the safety right there. Big hit.
Gress there along with Nate Lorton.
Introducing himself, wishing him a happy Thanksgiving.
Receiver split left and right. Slot receivers well. And they give it to Hurst. And Hurst, the single setback, gets to the 36. Gain of 5. Let's check with Joe Passion on the sidelines. What you got for us, Joe?
Well, Michael, a couple of quick things. First off, it's interesting how that Coach Purvis had the field goal kicked early. He should know about field goals. They practiced at Northern Illinois' AstroTurf Field earlier this week, at Husky Stadium. And Purvis, just for the heck of it, kicked a 40-yard field goal just for fun. So his kids want to make sure they don't get up by the coach. Back up to you guys.
All right, Joe, thanks a lot. And that's Dan Herman again. And he gets a couple yards. Tony Friedel coming up to make the stop. And that'll bring up a 3rd down and about 3. Dale Purvis actually went to school on a basketball scholarship in Missouri. And then came to coach here.
You know, we always come back to football.
Yes, sir. 3rd and 3. And this is going to be close with Tony Friedel coming up on the stop.
Good mark. He got the first down.
Clicko gets the first down, and Scott Clicko's got about 35 yards rushing so far, and a little more than a quarter. 9 minutes, 8 seconds to go here in the second quarter. Here's Dale Purvis. Interesting thing about him is that his coach, he played here at North Boone. His coach, Kelly Camp, is now the coach over there at Marengo. And they're going to be in our 3A title game. So pupil and teacher are both in championship action. Here is Clicko again with the play fake. All kinds of pursuit. All kinds of folks coming back for the ball is Barker, but can't hold on. Jason Clucky on the defense. Barker doing what a good receiver does. His quarterback's in trouble, coming back to the ball, but had it bounce in and off his numbers.
See right here, he gets flushed out of the pocket, comes back. You can see the receivers coming across, looking to help. He actually has 3 people open, goes to the deep man on a comeback route, and just bounces off his pads. Excellent throw on the run, though, by the quarterback under heavy pressure.
On second down, Clicko running the option, and he tries to pitch. Risky play. And the best thing that happened there for North Boone was that there was no gain.
Well, the officials calling a forward pass here.
They call it intended for Barker. That was one of those marginal things.
This was not a real good play. You can see right here, he's shut off, and he tries to bounce outside right there, and he actually throws it forward and around him, and it's called an illegal pass. Good call by the official.
Illegal, incomplete. So it'll be 3rd and 10 now. And North Boone goes to the shotgun. 2 receivers right, split receiver left. And again, Clicko with all kinds of time. Eludes Squire. And this time he is nailed. Out of bounds, getting right about to the line of scrimmage with 67 Wayne Ballman coming in to finish him off. And once again, Clicko being chased around the pocket, had lots of time to throw, but couldn't trigger.
It really does look like he almost is looking to run before he's looking to pass as he goes back. because he did have a couple people open. Now we'll see if we get the same kind of roll.
Going this way now is North Boone, as Hardin Calhoun had kicked that 60-yarder mostly on the roll. Becker takes it at his 23, and he's got some room here, but a good play very, very quickly by Brian Reininger, the defensive lineman slash receiver for North Boone. Nails him after a short gain. So 7:47 to go. Hardin Calhoun with a 7-3 lead. We'll come back as we take a look at this good hit here by Reininger. Hardin Calhoun will have the ball. It's got the lead, 7-3. We'll be back. Hardin Calhoun leading 7-3 will start its next offensive series from its own 25-yard line. Coming up at halftime, Joe Passion will talk to the coaches. We'll also throw you back to Steve Cashel in the Sports Channel Report, catch you up on all the Thanksgiving sports action. So here, J.D. Lorton. Becker in motion, and the give is to the fullback. And Tony Friedel's got all kinds of room. Good gain. Out across the 40 to the 43. John Barker making the stop. Gain of 17.
Well, big fullback, he's averaged 6 yards a carry, 20 touchdowns, 1,100 yards, 176 carries. He's the workhorse.
Penalty flag thrown, and we'll check that out. Looks like they're going to bring this one back. Now they are headed south with the ball, so the penalty will obviously go against Hardin Calhoun. Five-yarder. There is Rick Johns. 13 years at the same location. As we told you, made the finals in 1987. He's back. Nate Lorton in motion in the give on the counter play to Ryan Becker, and Becker stacked up back of the line of scrimmage. Jeff Garrick, backup quarterback, and also the cornerback coming up from his left position to make the spot and make the stop. Loss of about one, and
It's the first time they ran the counter so far in the ball game, which has been a big play for them throughout most of the season.
J.D. Lorton gives it to Friedel again, and Friedel just minor yardage. Brian Reininger again on the hit.
Most teams win up front. We'll take a good look here. You can see they're walling off. It's a veer concept. The tackles are blocking down. They're leaving the defensive tackle unblocked, hoping that he'll come upfield, and they give it to the fullback underneath, and they wall everybody else off, but he didn't go upfield too much. He made the big play.
3rd and 13. Clock at 6:30 and ticking. 3 receivers right, and they go up the middle. And once again, it's Friedel, but Friedel well short of first down yardage. Gets up to about the 30. Scott Klicko makes the stop, and now we will see Casey Longnecker punting against the wind. Let's see what kind of bounce he gets this time. Barker and Klicko will go back in double safety. Longnecker told you 60 yards on the last punt. Klicko and Barker. Left foots it, and this one hangs up. Fair catch called by Klicko just on the north side of the 50. And good field position now for Northland.
They're not going to take any chances letting that ball hit again after the last time. So you can see right there the short man waved, and I don't mean in stature, waved for the fair catch so they don't get that roll. Now they have good field position.
That was about a 20-yard punt, so a little bit of a difference there with and against the wind. So here's Klicko, who's had time to throw but hasn't been able to connect much. He's got the one completion. This time the pitch to Barker as they run out of the power I. And John Barker across the 50 to the 48. Aaron Elmore, 215-pound junior right tackle, makes the stop along with Tim Nelson.
You can see what right here. Watch the pursuit right down the line. Linebackers flying outside. The defensive linemen taking flat angles, flat down the line, cutting off that angle in the toss, doing a real nice job.
The official, Robert McDowell, asked for a timeout. Let's see what the story is. He's talking to the North Boone bench over here. He may just have the microphone. That's it. Blame the messenger. Go ahead. It's the media that's getting him. got a problem with the microphone, and we'll get that fixed up. While we have a minute, we want to wish a speedy recovery to our normal colleague here, Bill Gorley. Bill is laid up this year, and we've always enjoyed working with Bill on the color commentary with the 2, 4, and 6A games. Bill, we know you're watching. We hope you're feeling better, and we look forward to seeing you back next year. 5 minutes, 28 seconds to go here at Illinois State University as the equipment repairs continue on the referee, Robert McDowell. While we have a second, too, let's take a look. Tomorrow, we'll be bringing you live on Sports Channel Plus and later tape delay on Sports Channel what's supposed to be the premier matchup of this tournament, Wheaton-Warrenville South against Joliet Academy, and that's the 5A championships, followed by Loyola and Naperville North. So we got two good games, the biggest schools, 5A and 6A. Taking a look at how we got here, the first play from scrimmage was a fumble by North Boone, and right away Hardin Calhoun went in for its touchdown, and you can see North Boone has got a lot more yardage on the ground. Second down and 8. We're ready to go here, just inside the 50. Once again, Klicko, and he's got a man wide open. Complete once more. Looks like Dan Herman. Or is it Jason Blue? Yeah, Jason Blue with Jason Clucky in there to make the stop, but a big gainer inside the 30 to the 26-yard line.
Nice throw here, good setup. He comes underneath the safety, just sits right in that void area, right in there. The safety had been pulled off by another receiver. Nice route, more so than the throw and the catch was finding that hole in the seam of that zone. You can watch right here, right after the throw, he takes a real hit right there.
Well, Squire got him, but that's another reason that Dale Purvis loves this guy, Scott Klicko. He says he's been getting whacked all year. He comes up and says, next play, let's go. He's not that big a kid. He's 5'10", but as they say, he's got a lot of durability and a lot of heart. Klicko again on the play action. He's going to run it this time. Gets a good block and gets down inside the 20 to the 16. Tony Friedel makes the stop, but the key there was the block at the line of scrimmage, Jack.
Really did a nice job up front, and he's got the ability to scramble, which is a real threat for the secondary. The linebackers, if they drop too deep under coverage, he's got the ability to take off and run, so he creates real problems for the defense.
Under 5 minutes to go, second quarter now. Following the short punt into the wind, North Boone is driving. They trail 7-3, even though they've outgained Hardin Calhoun in the statistical category on first down. First and 10, 16-yard line, back to the power I. Again, the play fade looking for Blue. This one's up for grabs, and J.D. Lorton comes in and makes the play, and they call it an interception and a fumble, and it's going to be Hardin Calhoun ball.
Not a real good throw. He just laid it up. He'd been better off coming out of there and scrambling. The receiver was open initially, but then all of a sudden the safety jumped him, and the linebacker got underneath him, and the ball hung up. Not a good throw.
The sandwich coverage is there. They had the receiver in between two defenders, and that usually spells problems.
Well, the tough part about it is that was a first down play. If he would have pulled it down and just ran and even got a loss, they still would have had possession. To try to put it up in the air just wasn't a real good play at that point.
Looks like Clucky on the fumble recovery along with Jason Tapin. So now Hardin Calhoun dodges another bullet. And once again, the Warriors go back to work. And the fullback stood up, Tony Friedel, at the 15 with Scott Klicko maybe taking out his frustrations there on the ball carrier as he switches over to defense. There's Rick John saying, whoo, whoo, whoo. He's not really saying that. Why do we say what the coaches say? We've got to ask him, right? I don't know what he's saying. He's probably thinking of his next play. Right?
Well, I can tell you that that's probably exactly what he's saying.
Thank you. Four-yard gain, again with a double slot formation for Hardin Calhoun. Becker in motion, and once again it's Friedel. Friedel has been a workhorse here. He's carried about 180 times for the season. Dan Herman making the stop. They'll bring up third down and 4.
Offensive line here going against a 4-4 stack. 4 down linemen and 4 linebackers stacked. You can see they're just trying to wall them off, zone block it. And that outside linebacker sneaks up underneath and makes the play.
3 minutes to go here in the first half. Hardin Calhoun on third down sends Becker in motion. Lorton on the option, and Lorton short of a first down to the 21. Making the key stop there for North Boone, Brian Morlock, 200-pound senior linebacker. And there is J.D. Lorton.
He does it all, throws it, runs it. Very versatile player, third leading tackler on the team. Does the kicking.
Well, Lorton was injured during the playoffs in the Brown County game and did not play in the subsequent game, and that ankle that he hurt, still not 100%, but it's important, at least according to the coaching staff, that he gets off to a strong start, which in fact they did, because as with any young quarterback, the more you get successful at the beginning, the more confidence you have. Let's go down to Joe Passion again.
All right, thanks very much, Mike. Interesting thing about the shoes, you'll notice here on the Calhoun side of the field, their colors, of course, are red, black, and white, and so are their shoes. Some players are wearing red, some black, and some white, and the reason for that is because the local shoe company allowed the players to purchase the shoes whatever color they wanted at retail cost, or at wholesale cost, so that allowed them to get some turf shoes. They did have a chance to practice on turf at Busch Stadium in St. Louis and Memorial Stadium in Champaign. So this is turf week for Hardin Calhoun. Back upstairs.
Longnecker again into the wind, and again Klicko will make the fair catch at the 38-yard line. With 2:43 to go, North Boone taking a very important timeout. They will have room to maneuver.
Well, it was an opportunity for them, too, to advance on that change of possession. They gained about 15 yards from the last time they lost the ball, and of course, it's great to have good field position in a big game like this. You don't want to be coming out of your own territory all the time.
You know, another thing about those Hardin Calhoun shoes, they're wearing those 360 cleats. Maybe, Joe, you can get us one to see. Instead of the regular tread, they've got the 360s, make it easier to cut. The Thurman Thomas shoe, if you will. Klicko got a man open, and once again, cutting in front of the intended receiver is Reininger. And Brian Reininger makes the catch because the defender was all set to make the interception. Clucky was there behind the original receiver, and Reininger cut behind the two and cut in front of the two of them and made the catch.
That was an outstanding reception. Let's watch the bottom right of your screen. He lays the ball up, and you can see right here, just goes up, extends, and comes down with the football. A combination of him wanting it a little more than that defensive back.
It was intended for Eric Drake, and you can see Reininger make the stop. And look at this. That Chad Squire, Klicko's been wearing 55 all afternoon long. 1st and 10 from the 17. Clock at 2:15, and this running play gets nothing. Tim Nelson, Aaron Elmore combined on the stop of Vance Hurst. Hurst, the fullback. You look at Dale Purvis with the clock running. No gain. It'll be 2nd and 10. The ball still on the 17-yard line.
I believe he's got 2 timeouts left.
Single back offense here. Power back in the slot. Klicko again. Again with time. Klicko scrambling. Got a man in the end zone. Intended for Barker and off his fingertips. Jason Clucky.
He's exciting.
Well, that play took 18 seconds. Down to 1:40.
Well, they're in range for anything they want to do, and he still has 2 timeouts. So, but this is a tough pass, of course. It looks like they're open, but he is scrambling to his left and for a right hand. And now notice how they come back to the side he scrambles to. And that's a drill you work on. And he still puts the ball right on the money. Tough catch, but an excellent throw out of a scramble situation. Could have been caught.
Barker, normally sure-handed, has had a little difficulty today, both with passes and with holding on to the ball, rushing. We've got a timeout here. North Boone takes it, and an interesting call right there because the clock was stopped. 1:40 to go. It's going to bring up 3rd and 10. Here's Dale Purvis talking to his team. This copyrighted broadcast is presented for the entertainment and non-commercial use of our audience. Any reproduction or other use of this program without the written consent of Sports Channel is strictly prohibited. I'm Mike Lederman along with Jack McInerney, our trio video crew down at Hancock Stadium in Bloomington Normal. There's a portion of the crowd, and it's a good turnout for both schools considering the commute. And there's the situation. Hardin Calhoun scoring on its first possession off a turnover. North Boone coming back on a 31-yard field goal by Scott Klicko, and that's where we are with North Boone driving here. 3rd and 10 from the Hardin Calhoun. The Warriors 17. So they'll set up with 2 receivers to the right, single back offense. And again, a lot of black shirts in the secondary, and Klicko, elusive as ever, gets down inside the 15, but it will bring up a 4th down, and they have to get down to the 8. No, make it closer to the 6.
With the clock running here, and they, I believe, still have 1 timeout.
Chad Burris giving chase right there. Number 60 finally brings him down.
He's got to
Once,
learn to put
twice.
that football away. He lost it earlier going in the other direction on a scramble like that. He's got to put the ball away. Big play right here early.
4th and 7, and North Boone is going for it. Receiver split left in the slot. Klicko again. Klicko making dinner back there. He's got a man wide open. Touchdown, North Boone. Drake. Eric Drake. Touchdown from Scott Klicko, and a 4th down gamble has paid off for the Vikings.
Well, there they took the chance, and they didn't give him much of a rush, and they dropped more coverage and less rush. And what it did is allowed him to sit back there all day long till finally a receiver broke open going back away from the grain, across the grain in the corner of the end zone. And, you know, it's a catch-22. Do you put pressure on him and give up a little help in the secondary, or do you drop off and give him more time underneath and hope you get a rush? They didn't get a rush. He had the time, and it resulted in a touchdown.
43 seconds left on the clock. Eric Drake makes the touchdown catch. Wide receiver, 5'7" 140-pound senior. And now the decision here, go for 1 or 2. And North Boone has gone out ahead 9-7. There again, Dale Purvis. What's the issue here, Jack, as we look at Rick Johns?
Well, I think he's kind of concerned about how they have been moving the ball. They really haven't been doing a real good job running the ball, so his choice down here would be, they do run the option and run it well, and in a 2-point offense, you have more of an opportunity if you give yourself some options. In other words, not just hand off to one person, but give yourself an option, either to run on a sprint out or the option as far as the run is concerned.
Well, they're coming up with the power I, going for 2.
See if they try and get him outside. No.
And they give it to Hurst, and Hurst close to the goal line. He's in there. Vance Hurst,
Good effort.
the junior fullback, gets the 2 points. And the Vikings fans are enjoying it right now. 43 seconds to go. North Boone has gone out ahead 11-7. Let's take a look at the touchdown again.
You can see him right here, raises his hand, and we tell our receivers, raise the hand in the direction you're sliding so the quarterback knows which way to throw it. If you just stand there and have no direction, he doesn't know where to throw it. So he throws it, the direction the hand is up, he tore it to the right corner, and there's a good job right there of playing catch.
Jeff Gress, the defender here, and here's the try for 2 on the conversion.
Everybody blocking down, kicking out, and just a nice effort right here at getting into the end zone. Just a power play off tackle.
Vance Hurst took over the fullback slot when the starter, Shane Smith, was injured. Smith is pretty much okay now, but he hasn't been able to get his job back, and you saw right there why. So North Boone, trailing throughout the first half, has now taken the lead. Sanchez to kick it off, and Clucky will take it on his own 4. And Jason Clucky is meant by a bunch of folks. Shane Matheson, number 70. Shane Smith, we told you, the backup fullback now, number 36. Short of the 20-yard line. And with 35 seconds to go, going against the wind, Hardin Calhoun will... What do you think, Jack?
Well, right now, as we look at this, one of the tough parts is trying to stop and cut back against the grain. It's like being in a race with a car, and you shut the engine off and restart it. It doesn't happen.
Oh, you got a good look at those soles of those 360 circular cleats. There's J.D. Lorton on the option, pitches back to his brother Nate, and Nate Lorton finally driven out of bounds, short of the 30-yard line, and first down yardage. Jason Blue and John Barker over on the right side, finally knocking him out.
Nice job of running the option here.
Well, they're going into the wind, and they're also not known as a forward passing team, and they make good use of the option here, but they're still 70 yards short of the goal line.
Well, one of the things, you know, people don't realize in the option, you know, there's some danger to it when you pitch it. I'm not so sure that at this point, with this amount of time left in their own territory, the coach didn't say, run the option, but don't pitch it. Because that ball gets on the ground, they scoop it up, they're in for another 6.
3 receivers right, 1 receiver split left, single back offense here with 14 seconds to go, and they throw the safety valve, and it goes to Friedel. Out of bounds, gain of maybe 1. Brian Reininger, the stop. Well, Rick Johns is doing a lot of deception. Comes out in the power eye when he'd used the wishbone at the double slot. Now he goes 3 receivers right, and he throws back left.
I think what he could be doing here, too, is he's trying to set up to see how they react prior to halftime going in, adjustments to certain formations. The guys up in the booth are charting. What do they do? What kind of defensive sets do they go to out of these formations?
Second down, 10 seconds to go. This time he tries to air it out to Clucky. 2 defenders are there. Jason Blue and Scott Klicko. And as you can see, that one didn't have a chance. 3 defenders, the sideline as well.
And, of course, anytime the ball's in the air, coach wants an interference call, but didn't get it.
4 ticks left on the clock. You look at Jason Clucky. 6-foot senior. And there's Rick Johns. Double slot formation here with 4 seconds left. Becker in motion, and they just run this one with the fullback Friedel. And Travis Dahlberg, the fine linebacker, makes the last stop of the first half. And that will do it for the first 2 quarters. North Boone leads it 11-7. As you look at Rick Johns walking off. First touchdown, Hardin Calhoun on the turnover. Scott Klicko a field goal, and then that for North Boone, and then the touchdown pass to Eric Drake with 43 seconds to go in the first half, followed by the 2-point conversion. And North Boone, in the battle of the undefeateds, has got an 11-7 lead after the first half. Let's go down to Joe Passion. Joe?
Dale, you went to the air a little bit more than maybe you have during the playoffs, but it seemed to come through there toward the end of the quarter.
You know, Scott's a very good quarterback and throw the ball, and anytime we can get Scott throwing the ball, we got some very good receivers, and we get the field spread out. Scott's so dangerous on the run that it's to our advantage. So if they continue to keep stacking and taking away the run, we're going to stay in the air for a while.
Any other differences you look at right now that you want to focus in on here at halftime?
Yeah, we're just going to go talk about our blocking schemes on the run and get back to a little bit more running and controlling the ball a little bit more. But I'm pleased. We got the nervousness out the first part, and we're ready to play football now.
Some great hitting from both teams.
2 good football teams is where it should be. 2 undefeated teams for the championship.
All right, Dale, thanks so much. Dale Purvis back in the locker room. We'll talk with Rick Johns coming out of the locker room later on. Back upstairs now to Mike and Mac.
All right, Joe, thanks very much. We're at halftime, and here's what's going to be happening. Joe Passion's going to have a scoring summary. We'll send you back to our Sports Channel studios for an update on sports news from the report, halftime highlights and statistics. So stick with us. It's a football fest.
It has been a very interesting first half, a first half that was started really by defense, and a fumble recovery early on in the ball game for Calhoun led to their first score, and defense and some great hitting by both teams led to the eventual scoring. And it was interesting also to note how North Boone went out of the run-oriented offensive scheme to put the ball up in the air, and that really helped them. Let's look at the first half scoring summary here of our Class 1A championship game. And as we notice here, that first quarter, that 2-yard run by Friedel made it 7-0 with Smith extra point after. And then Klicko came through with a 31-yard field goal that was into a crosswind. And that brought the score within 4 points. And then, of course, Drake getting that 14-yard pass from Klicko. Hurst PAT for the 2-point conversion gives our halftime score here an 11-7 lead for North Boone, a team that seemed in trouble early on in the first quarter, but they came back with some great defense and, again, using that front stacking of the defensive line by Calhoun to go to the air, and they were able to come up with some great plays. We talked earlier about, and of course you heard Mike and Mac talking about the hard hitting of both teams, and that's one thing that's really dominated this, even though the teams are not very large physically. Although for a few linemen on both teams, they are coming out hitting like NFL linebackers. They're really having some great hitting here that's going on. A couple other real quick notes again on that crosswind, which is coming out again out of the northwest at about 15, 18 miles an hour. That's really causing a swirling motion here on the field. That's going to again have more of an effect on the specialty teams. We'll find out how that goes in the second half. And we'll be back with more of our Class 1A high school football championship game from Hancock Stadium in Bloomington Normal right after this timeout.
Well, somebody feels lucky here. 7-11. Right now, it's the North Boone Vikings with that touchdown and a field goal, a 2-point conversion, up ahead of the Warriors of Hardin Calhoun High School in this, the 1A championship game. We are back. We'll take a look at some of the first half highlights. And it began, at least for North Boone, not too well. They fumbled on their first offensive play, and that led to a touchdown for Hardin Calhoun.
There's the big fullback, a 1-yard plunge right off guard and tackle.
So Tony Friedel gets the 6. The extra point made it 7-0 Hardin Calhoun in the first quarter. Then North Boone coming back, 2 fumbles on 2 straight plays, and both recovered by North Boone. Boy, were they lucky.
Watch this tackle right here. Helmet right on the ball. That's the way you draw it up on the board and watch it bounce around right here. Great hustle.
Vance Hurst right in there, number 33, to make the save. And we'll take a look right there. That should be Vance Hurst for North Boone. And that leads to this touchdown. Scott Klicko, who only drops lower just than the bathysphere right here.
Well, he only had a 3-man rush, and really he got no pressure whatsoever. And finally, after seemed like forever, the receivers break loose in the corner of the end zone and pick up that touchdown pass.
And they went for 2 points on the conversion, and they get it once again with Hurst.
Right off tackle, power run, pick up that half yard more than he needed for that 2 points.
Well, that was the scoring in the first half, and North Boone had much of a statistical edge. Scott Klicko, as we say, if anybody drops down lower, it may be the guys in the bathysphere when they go down below sea level. He was backpedaling, but he made the play that counted to get the touchdown pass. Taking a look at the statistics again, and the North Boone would seem to have a lot more of an edge than just 4 points, Jack.
It really would, but you know, we talked about this early as far as something has to give. Statistically, these teams have dominated their opponents in the first half, and especially in the first quarter, where Calhoun scored, for example, 122 points in the first quarter and gave up a 0. They scored 190 in the second quarter and gave up 12. So both these teams statistically have overpowered their opponents by halftime.
Well, obviously, when you have a situation like that, as we said in the opening graphic, something's got to give. And right now, we don't know who or what yet, because it's a very tight ball game. Let's go down to Joe Passion. He's got Hardin Calhoun coach Rick Johns with him.
All right, thanks very much, Mike. Rick, you look at the first half. Come back with us with a summary and what changes you need to make here in the second half.
Well, we just need to establish our offense. We knew if we kept giving them the ball that we were going to be in trouble, because Klicko makes so many things happen. You know, we're just going to have to establish our own offense, see if we can get it in the end zone, and, you know, make them try to come back on us.
More focus put on Klicko then? Do you change your keys at all?
Well, it really doesn't do any good, because if you take something away from, you know, somebody else to put on him, you know, Klicko will take advantage of that. You know, he'll find the open man, and, you know, we're just going to keep playing our defense and hope we can get her done.
All right, Rick, thanks very much. Have a great second half.
Well, thank you very much.
All right, we will have a great second half based on how hard-hitting the first half was, and let's send it back up to Mike and Mac.
Thank you, Joe, and we'll send it back to the studio for some commercial words, and we'll be back to start the second half in just a minute. Ready to start the second half. North Boone will be kicking off. They've got the 4-point lead. And Hardin Calhoun in the black uniforms with the red trim, they will be receiving. The officials and the captains are going out. Scott Klicko, by the way, as he comes out, will give you a shot. Take a look at this. He's with his 2 fingers taped, and he's holding his right hand. This could not be terribly good news, Jack.
Well, you know, it looked like he might have taken a couple shots early when he got sacked on those throws, and might, with this cold weather, might have hit his hand on top of the helmet of some of those rushers. I was watching him grip the ball earlier. It doesn't look like it's going to have a major effect yet. We might see as we're going along here, and we'll be able to tell by the flight of the ball, basically, how well he's able to throw.
Well, when we come back to the wide shot, you can see his statistics for Klicko. He's a 50% passer all season, and he is right now today. He will lead him out.
And that's an awful good stat for these kind of conditions down here where the wind is kind of swirling, and he's really been under a lot of pressure.
Wind will be coming when we go to the wide shot of the field from our left to the right, from the north to the south. Well, right now we're looking at the we're looking toward the north right there.
And Mike, you want to tell our fans what you just learned these last weeks about the...
No, I don't. But as we all know, that all the fields are laid out north to south. And that is especially important when you're playing in the afternoon, so nobody gets the sun in their eyes.
There is an exception, though.
There is one exception, and I bet you know what it is, Jack.
Oak Park River Forest High School.
Where Jack is
Stadium
coach.
built in 1924, and it's laid out east to west.
There is Jerry Sanchez, who is going to be kicking north, folks, and we'll have a compass check in a minute as we get set to start it up as we go from the 40-yard line. And this is Clucky again inside his 20, and Jason Clucky makes a big mistake, and he is dragged back by Scott Klicko, the quarterback on the special teams, and Klicko might have done that with a little too much enthusiasm.
You know, as we sat up here, he had a big alley early on that return. Had he just turned it on and kept going straight and he cut back, if he kept going right to his right here, you can't see it in the shot, but he had a big lane there and he stops to cut back. And here's the big mistake right here. Take what you can get. He lost 15 yards there.
Well, the ball is back on the 21-yard line of Hardin Calhoun. They come out in a double slot with J.D. Lorton, the quarterback, and he tries to pitch it again. A Thanksgiving bounce to Ryan Becker, and Becker gains more than first down yardage as the ball takes a fortuitous bounce for Hardin Calhoun. Brian Reiniger and John Barker on the stop.
Good job of stock blocking downfield. You can see right here he gets hit. Ball bounces, but it's an AstroTurf bounce. But right there you can see a great effort of stock blocking downfield, and that helped him pick up 10 yards and a first down.
Neither one of these teams has played on turf before. They both practiced on it for this week. First down, Nate Lorton in motion, the counter to Becker on the sophomore. Becker gets to the 35, called a gain of 2, where he is met by the left side of the Vikings line, led by number 33, Vance Hurst. And Vance Hurst is playing a game on both sides of the ball today.
He's really doing a nice job down there. And, of course, this is really the offense that Calhoun has run most of the year. We didn't see this early on. It looked like they were kind of testing to see what was going on defensively, but this is their true offense right here.
Two receivers split left, and Friedel, the fullback, needs a block, and he gets it from Clucky, and he gets close to midfield, and a flag late after the play, maybe a late hit. Scott Klicko, the free safety and defensive back there, made the play, but the flag came in late on the hit. And it's a face mask. It's going to go against North Boone.
You can see right here he cuts back. You can see him reach out and slide the hand. Now, actually, the hand is not on the face mask, but there has been a tendency this year that if a hand really goes up near the helmet anywhere there, they're calling face mask. And you could see that the hand was on the side of the helmet, not really on the face mask, but they're very concerned with safety.
In motion is Becker. Ooh, ball is loose. North Boone's got it. Brian Reininger. And that time the fire burned Hardin Calhoun. Brian Reininger landed on the ball, and there is Rick Johns, who's seen his drive stalled by another fumble.
This is just good defense causing these fumbles, whether they're good hits or great penetration by the defense. Watch right here. That guy just slams down on the quarterback and jars the ball loose before he can pitch it.
Klicko now, and Klicko pitches as he's going down. And taking it is Herman. And Herman is brought down by Nate Lorton. As Klicko is going to the option check, and it's Barker.
These quarterbacks live dangerously with this option. Going down and not in real good pitch relationship and just letting it fly. And the situation is, with AstroTurf, boy, that ball can go anywhere.
First turnover for Hardin, Calhoun, and now North Boone with a second down after a gain of 2. They come up in the power I formation. Ends are in tight, and Klicko straight ahead, and Klicko will have a third down in about 5. He gets across the 45 to about the 47. Tony Friedel coming up from his middle linebacker spot. Rick Johns 4-3 to make the stop.
You can see right here it's a zone block. The guards are trying to wall down. The center's going after the middle linebacker, but the nose man gets in the seam between the guard and the center and makes a nice play. Normally you try to wall that off and have the center and the guards blocking down with the center.
Single back offense. Double slot. Klicko throwing with the wind. Breaking in front is Clucky, and Clucky the interception to the 45-yard line of Hardin, Calhoun. Thank you. I'll give you yours back after you gave one to me. Jason Clucky with the fine interception, and we saw that coming right down Broadway.
Did a nice job of sitting back, waiting for the ball to get in the air, and then he just broke right underneath the receiver. He had that pegged all the way. You can see him right here. He's watching the position of the quarterback and just makes a great move right there, cutting underneath, and goes for the ball at the highest point, which is how you teach it, for that interception.
Hardin, Calhoun back to work now. J.D. Lorton, the quarterback option into the secondary to the 42-yard line. Scott Klicko makes the stop on his opposite quarterback number. And J.D. Lorton again, after pitching and losing the ball the last time, keeps it on the quarterback option and gets a first down.
Nice cutback right here. Good job of downfield block, and needs again to put the ball down, put it away, because at that point he's not pitching when you go up inside the tackles. He needs to put the ball away and watch out for these fumbles that they've both been plaguing both teams here.
Double slot, 2 receivers out to the right. Becker in motion, and this time it's Friedel, and Friedel straight ahead for first down yardage or close to it. And he gets to the 33. And let's check in with Joe Pash. And Joe, you got some news about Scott Klicko.
All right, I was on the opposite sideline, guys, and Scott Klicko had his fingers taped up during halftime because he jammed one of them during the first half. But by this play already here early in this third quarter, apparently the tape is working effectively.
All right, so I guess, Jack, that confirms what you said. So Klicko now still at his defensive back position. Friedel thrown 15 and out of bounds. And again, Klicko has been all over the field today. Makes the touchdown, saving knock out of bounds. First down, Hardin, Calhoun at the 14-yard line of North Boone.
Watch the zone block here. The guard kicks out on a short trap, and he's running parallel to the line of scrimmage, but showing some good speed for a 200-pounder. A nice run, but that's one of the reasons why he scored 20 touchdowns and has over 1,100 yards.
Nate Lorton in motion, 3 receivers left, and once again it's Friedel up the middle to the 5. Ryan Morlock making the stop. The Hardin, Calhoun, the Warriors, Rooters have something to cheer about, although Tony Friedel's coming back to the huddle a bit slowly.
Well, he's been carrying the ball and getting some good yardage for him. He looks more than the program lists him at 201 pounds, but I think that might have been prior to yesterday's Thanksgiving dinner. He does a nice job here. He's good, hard, inside runner. And that's what you want when you run the option.
Second down and 1. Again, it's the junior Friedel. And it looks like he got the first down yardage here, but we shall wait. Yep, there's the call. Rick Johns now has got his team poised to recapture the lead.
You know, it's kind of interesting. You watch both of these offenses early, and it's almost as if the adrenaline now has settled down a little bit. They got all the butterflies out, and they're settled into their offenses and defenses as the true way they've been playing all year.
Again, the double slot, and again, straight ahead. But stacked up here, Hurst on top of the pile for North Boone. And Friedel gets nothing, or very little. Dale Purvis in coach's position right there.
Watch the play is made below the waist. Now they get right underneath him, You get on his pads and he'll bounce you, but right there he holds him up for the linebackers to come in and help. Nice tackle.
Good play by Dan Herman, number 88, off the defensive line. Third down. J.D. Lorton, and Lorton is stopped. Klicko put the clamps on after Herman again coming to make the stop at the line of scrimmage. And here is a moment of decision for Rick Johns and company.
It's been a nice defensive stand. We mentioned earlier both teams have outstanding defenses, and of course Herman's made 2 consecutive big plays right down here in the goal line area.
Brings up a third down. Third and goal. Again, it's Friedel. Touchdown, Hardin.
No,
Calhoun.
fumble.
No, now they say fumble, and it's going to be North Boone's ball at the 1-yard line. Hands went up, but it was Hardin Calhoun's hands, not officials' hands. And the ball did turn over, and North Boone will have it back. We'll take a look at this one again.
You can watch the quarterback. He's held on. He's squeezed right here. He's trying to pull it out, and that's where the problem happened. He tried to pull it out from the fullback. Didn't have a good grip on him. Both the fullback and the quarterback got hit at the same time.
And look who made the recovery. Mr. Scott Klicko.
He's doing a heck of a job.
First down from their 1, and look at this play. Coming up, it is Tim Nelson, and that'll be a safety against North Boone. What a play by Nelson.
We've had a lot of big defensive plays here. You can see where the ball's being snapped right here. He's about 3 yards deep and gets right underneath that blocker.
Parker doesn't have a chance. Nelson makes the play, and it'll be 2 points on the board for Hardin Calhoun. We'll be back with the free kick in just a minute. Following the safety, North Boone will kick the ball from its own 20-yard line. They'll tee it up and kick it away with Jerry Sanchez. And again, Jack's strategy here, you're kicking into the wind. You have the option of kicking off the tee or punting.
Well, the problem is with the punt, if it's hung up, you know, even though he can call for a fair catch, you're not going to get much distance. With this, he can run a line drive through there and hope for a good bouncer that's going to get him deeper into their territory.
Becker, the deep back.
Good kick.
And it's an excellent kick, and it takes an AstroTurf roll, goes out of bounds.
I see they'll have to go back 5. And I got to think they're going to...
Well, they have a couple of options, right? They can...
Right. They can move the ball up, they can have it re-kicked, or they can take it right there. There's 3 options to it. Be interesting to see what the coach does here.
Doubt very much if he's going to take it on his own 30, if he's got an option of... Let's wait and see. 5 minutes, 53 seconds to go here in the third quarter. They're going to bring it back. Here's the call here.
On the kick it again.
Illegal procedure on the kicking team, 5 yards, re-kick.
See, they'll kick it again because they got good distance on that rather than punting it.
Hardin Calhoun, after having a drive stall with a fumble on the North Boone 1-yard line, will get the ball again with good field position. And Sanchez will tee it up. Again, the AstroTurf bounce can work both ways. We've seen it be very lenient on the punt. That went 35 yards on the ground back in the first quarter for Hardin Calhoun. And here, that ball really started at the right hash mark and bounced over the sideline after getting a good roll. So Sanchez will put the ball on the 15-yard line. Becker is back at his own 40. Again, good distance. Chases him back to the 33. Ryan Becker to midfield.
Flip. Oh.
And Becker into Hardin Calhoun territory.
I thought we were going to get a clip down there.
32-yard return by Hardin Calhoun's Ryan Becker, but let's see what happens there. No flags.
Top of your screen, right there. It's a questionable, but I've had those called. You know, I mean, either way, I mean, it was official held off because it wasn't real great contact, but it was still contact.
32-yard return, Hardin Calhoun in business, 3 receivers. There's motion, and we're going to get a flag here. One of the receivers moved, so this play is going to come back. Procedure called against Hardin Calhoun. Vance Hurst out on the right flank move before the snap count. One of the rare mistakes he's made today, but let's get the official word here from Bob McDowell.
We're discussing the choices here, but it's obviously going to go back after that long gainer. Calhoun seems to have found the timing, that they seem to have found the blocking scheme during halftime that they wanted to do to free up Tony Friedel.
Well, now they just have to find out a way to hold on to the ball because they have
Illegal procedure on the offense, resume first down, 15.
making some critical turnovers no matter how well your offense is working. In the red zone, you got to push it over.
Is that a Southern Illinois draw, or is he cold?
I was thinking the same
you got to
thing.
make a decision there. I've talked like that, but only because I've been cold when I'm outdoors.
Temperatures are in the 30s. Nate Lorton in motion, and the give is to Tony Friedel, and Friedel on 1st and 15 gets 3. Brian Reininger. Makes the stop. Tony Friedel's got good numbers today, close to 100 yards, along with that touchdown. Each team has one score for touchdown, 2-point extra point, and a field goal for North Boone. The safety and the extra point for Hardin Calhoun. 2nd and 12. J.D. to throw.
Got him
in, his brother Nate. Nate going to the floor, and he fumbles.
Nope, out of bounds.
And it's just out of bounds before Klicko can get a hand on it. Scott Klicko literally inches away from making the recovery as Nate Lorton fumbled the ball as he was hit and landed at the 4-yard line of North Boone. Here it is.
He just pulls it down and then goes over the top, gets him right in behind in a flat route over here. He gets in behind the linebacker, and now it's just a foot race. You can see right here, he lowers the shoulder. Right there, he loses the ball, and it just sits there. Just sits there on the line. Good call by the official.
Garrick made the original hit, number 9. It's just on the line. 37-yard pass play. J.D. Lorton, touchdown for Hardin Calhoun's Warriors.
Kind of had a feeling when they come out at halftime, they were moving the ball extremely well with a lot of confidence. And this is the offense that they've used all year long. It's been very, very good to them.
4-yard touchdown run by J.D. Lorton, the quarterback. His 11th touchdown of the season on the ground. And once again, Hardin Calhoun, after being thwarted by its own fumble on the previous drive, has gone out ahead 15-11, and they will go for 2 on the conversion attempt. Friedel the lone setback. Becker now lines up in the I. Friedel straight ahead. Does he get there? No, he does not. So the try for point is stopped short. And they will return and come back up the field with the score now. Hardin Calhoun back in front, 15-11.
Well, it's the way it should be for 2 undefeated teams in the state championship game. Back and forth, playing good defense, occasional explosions of offense, but a very well-played football game.
4 minutes, 46 seconds left to go, third quarter. Hardin Calhoun has scored 8 points here in the second half. And they have gone ahead by a count of 15-11. There you saw Rick Johns, the head coach over there.
Both schools playing very good football.
Next to Rick, Kurt Brandenburg is assistant coach and athletic director at Hardin Calhoun.
Good kick.
At the 4-yard line, make it the 6. It's Barker. Barker with a good return. He gets across the 35. Chad Squire makes the stop for Hardin Calhoun, and North Boone will have good field position. They start with 4:39 to go after the 31-yard return.
You can tell the big difference in the kick returners, that the ones that just get the ball and explode up the field and make their moves going north and south compared to the guy that wants to stop and cut and go east and west.
5 plays, 40 yards, a little more than a minute with Lorton, a 4-yard run after the big 37-yard pass play. Lorton to Lorton. Here's Klicko. He gives it to Barker, and Barker gets 3. To the 37, Casey Longnecker makes the stop. Jack, I think Mr. Barker's got to be the guy who steps up now.
Well, I mean, he has been doing it all year with 1,300 yards rushing. 165 carries. I mean, he is the man they have to go to right now. But then on the other hand, Calhoun knows that that's the man they got to go to.
Called on the first play from scrimmage and really has been in the flow ever since. Again, Klicko on the option, pitches at the last minute to Hurst, and Hurst close to a first down. And I tell you what, Jason Clucky makes the stop over there, number 84. They are just pitching at the last possible second here.
You watch right here. This is not, but it's a championship game, and they're going for everything. And of course, you know, the old in the grass theory doesn't hold in high school football, so he's able to get rid of the ball here, and they picked up 7 yards.
Clock is running, 3 minutes, 22 seconds to go. 3rd and 2, the power I formation ends in tight. And he does not get it. John Barker is short, and give J.D. Lorton credit. The quarterback slash defensive back comes in and makes the stop, and this is what would amount to, or at least what one would expect, would be a punting situation.
Right here, just base blocking, but there's good penetration. The corner comes up and makes an excellent tackle. Right here, comes up a yard short.
That's a healthy yard. Hardin Calhoun isn't dropping anybody back. And even though Klicko's going back into punt formation, now Gress goes back into single safety. But Hardin Calhoun is thinking fake here. And Klicko.
My foot hurts every time a kid punts the ball.
This one goes down to the 20. Isn't that wild? Klicko throws right and kicks left. So the ball is dead. Hardin Calhoun with the 15-11 lead. 36-yard punt by Klicko. And Hardin Calhoun will start this drive at about its own 21-yard line.
They've really been on a roll this second half. I mean, their offense has really been clicking on all cylinders, so it'll be interesting to see how this drive goes.
They said 3 receivers left. Nate Lorton in motion, and Friedel, the fullback, gets absolutely nothing. Reininger leads the charge. Brian Reininger, with help from about 4 or 5 other white shirts there. Mr. Friedel has been a busy man today, and we have a busy day for you the rest of today and tomorrow. Of course, the two-way game, Richmond-Burton-Moweaqua, follows this. Marengo and DuQuoin, a couple of Indian teams going at it at 4:30. We'll bring you that. Then Oswego and Geneseo follows on Sports Channel Plus. Tom Stocker, Steve Mays to bring you those 2, 4, and 6A games. Jack, you're going to be doing color for 6A.
Great ball game.
Alan Anderson making the stop. And we'll have a 3rd down play coming here. There's Scott Klicko. Long arm and long hair. Clock is running, coming up to 1 minute to go here. 3rd down, and they string it out. Hardin Calhoun, and once again, they go with the option. And J.D. to the 44. Clutch play. Jason Blue making a stop for North Boone, but once again, J.D. Lorton running that quarterback triple option, and he gets big yardage on 3rd down.
Watch right here, they block down, trap right here. It's just basically a quarterback trap after faking the fullback, and he still has to put that football away. You can see how precariously he is handling that ball.
Jason Blue making a stop. Jason Clucky sprung J.D. at the line of scrimmage with a fine block there. From the 45-yard line, Hardin Calhoun. J.D. complete to Gress. Into enemy territory, down inside the 40 to the 39. Jeff Garrick and Brian Morlock make the stop. Hardin Calhoun's marching again. Let's go down to Joe.
If you're wondering who this frenzied woman is on the bleachers in the near sideline, Hardin Calhoun's mother, Sandy Lorton. Yes, it's the mother, the quarterback, J.D., and the wingback and defensive back, Nate. She's also the cheerleading sponsor, the #1 fan, and she's put more energy on the sideline than maybe both her boys have in the entire game. Back upstairs.
Again, the double slot. Again, J.D., and he gets inside the 35. Dan Herman makes the stop, and let's take another look at Mom. Here's the play as Gress gets knocked out of bounds after the big gainer.
Mother goes over to beat him up a little bit and revive him.
Hey.
You know the old theory with Mother, she's still trying to burp him, and he's 17 years old.
I don't think so. I think she's saying, oh, there she's going. This is terrific. Hey, get back out there. Don't rest now. Mrs. Lorton, this one's all for you. That's the end of the third quarter. Hardin Calhoun is driving. They have the lead over North Boone, 15-11 for the 1A championship. Final 12 minutes coming up. Ready for the start of the fourth quarter. Hardin Calhoun with a touchdown and a safety in the third has gone back on top by 4 points. The big one, J.D. to Nate. Lorton to Lorton. Set up Hardin Calhoun for the go-ahead score on the 4-yard run. Turnover's a big factor here. North Boone has made 3, Hardin Calhoun 2, and we're getting ready for the fourth quarter. First play from scrimmage, Hardin Calhoun with the ball. Becker, the sophomore, one man to beat, and Becker makes a fine play around the right side. And Travis Dahlberg, the outstanding linebacker for North Boone, makes the saving tackle on Ryan Becker.
Nice job there of changing up the call. They've been coming to one side. You'll see they come one side and they come back with the counter right here, and he does a nice job of turning the corner. Good move right there, staying inbounds, working his way upfield. Nice call and a nice run.
2 receivers split left, and this again is J.D. on the option, and J.D. inside the 15. Gain of maybe 2. Reininger again on the stop. Big day for J.D. Lorton right here, bad ankle or not. Had butterflies maybe a little early, led him to a touchdown on the first series, and now has come back and really has a lot of command out there right now.
You have to have a take charge guy when you're running the option. He certainly does do that.
Split receivers left and right. J.D. touchdown. Hardin Calhoun has now scored 14 points straight. J.D. Lorton with a 14-yard run. And they're starting to put a little distance between them and North Boone in quest of their first state championship.
Nice play. It was a trap option. Fake to the fullback, and there's Mom.
Oh, Mom, geez. It's a good thing they don't play 15-minute quarters. She'd be exhausted. Point after is good. So Hardin Calhoun has doubled up on North Boone. The Warriors lead at 22-11, and the second half has been all Hardin Calhoun.
Watch the fake and the guard pulling right here, and it's just a trap for the quarterback. And he does a nice job of turning up inside. And with a combination of a good, tough inside fullback, right there, good move, cuts back up the grain and gets a good downfield block. He still needs to put that ball away, but he's got 6 points. Nice call and a nice run.
J.D. Lorton, a 14-yard touchdown. Terry Don Smith puts the ball on the tee after the successful conversion. Take a look at the deep backs. 3 receivers deep for North Boone. Bounces this one. Hurst picks it up finally at the 19. Vance Hurst now heads upfield and crosses the 20 to the 23-yard line. And North Boone, with 11 minutes to go, has got to get its offense going.
Momentum has certainly swung in Calhoun's favor.
55, Chad Squire made the stop for Hardin Calhoun on the kickoff. And it's
Dale
first
Purvis.
and 10 for North Boone.
8 plays, 79 yards, only took 3 minutes. And the 14-yard run by J.D. Lorton has given Hardin Calhoun a 22-11 lead.
Calhoun has really been in command the second half, all through the third, most of the fourth quarter here, just really controlling the clock and the scoreboard.
Now we're going to get a penalty here against North Boone on the kickoff return. It was a late flag. And a half the distance penalty takes it back to the 11.
12-yard line. It's 1st and 10.
So it'll be 1st and 10 from the 11-yard line of the Vikings. Klicko lets this one go to midfield and overshoots his receiver Reidinger. Scott Klicko throwing with the wind showed some arm right there.
Well, you can see by the distance of the throw and the trajectory and the tight spiral that the tape jam fingers really are not too much affected.
It's 2nd out of 10 now for North Boone. Ball's at the 11-yard line.
It's awful early to try and let everything hang out here. They just got a good drive in here.
Slot right, Klicko again, and Klicko again has got problems back there. Lets this one go, and it's complete to Hurst. And Hurst to the 25-yard line.
First down.
Jeff Gress making the stop once again. Hardin Calhoun's front four putting a lot of pressure on the defensive secondary, doing some good coverage. But give credit to Klicko right here.
Doesn't he kind of remind you of the Georgia Peach? Scrambling Fran Tarkington. He's doing a lot of scrambling back there, and that really helps the receiver because then all of a sudden there's voids and they can scramble to get open.
First on the draw gets nothing. Wrapped up by Tim Nelson. And boy, have we been calling Nelson's number. Shad Burris in there as well. Rick Johns. Wheels are turning.
It's interesting how at halftime the coach talked about the fact that Klicko had that versatility to throw or to scramble, and he really wanted to have the ball in his hands all the time and put the game in his hands.
Klicko again.
Got a flag.
And down he goes.
I think we got a holding call.
And once again it's Mr. Nelson. But will hold up for the penalty.
Whenever you get that much scrambling around and that much time in the backfield, sooner or later it's going to be either a holding or a clip by one of those linemen. They can only do so much right there.
They call it an illegal block below the waist, and that's what it is. And here's the call.
Well, block below the waist on the offense. Declined. 3rd down.
But after the sack, Hardin Calhoun declines the penalty, brings up 3rd down play, and it will be about 3rd and 15, more than that. That's the first sack of the ball game with 9:35 to go. Clock is ticking away. North Boone down by 11 with a big 3rd down play right here. They send slot right. Klicko's got Hurst as a safety valve. Just gets away and intercepted. This is going to be a touchdown. Shad Burris.
Trying to make something happen again, similar to the play in the first half where he was scrambling and kind of threw it up in the air and they picked it off. Same thing here.
Shad Burris, the defensive left end. His eyes probably got as big as this field, but he was sure-handed, made the play. Oh, just like it happens every day, right? He's not too excited.
Well, his great coverage and, of course, the pressure by the up-front people on the quarterback made that interception possible.
The enthusiasm continues for the Warriors. Smith will try to left foot that extra point through. And this one is wide to the right. So with 9 minutes 20 seconds to go, Hardin Calhoun continues its second half dominance. They're a little less than 10 minutes away from a championship, but there's a long time to go. Tremendous pressure put on by the defensive line, and the linebacker Tony Friedel sets this play up as well, along with Chad Squire right there.
They're the key to make that play right there is the fact that they would not let him get outside and put the pressure on him, and he tried to make something happen. Right here, he is really drilled and leaves the ball out in the flat, and that's the place you do not want to throw it, is in the flat when you have that under coverage, because there's nobody, especially when your quarterback gets down, there's nobody out there to make the play.
Smith will kick off. His team now leads 28-11. 3 receivers deep on this one. In the middle, it's Becker. And Ryan Becker, who's been getting some good return yardage, gets up close to the 40-yard line. So once again, North Boone will go into action after the 17-yard interception, return for touchdown. Shad Burris, you know, the way he walked off that field, you think he's had a couple of touchdowns in his lineman's career, but I don't know.
Well, you know, you've heard the term shock.
Yeah, that
he's
may
still
be
in
it.
shock.
That
He's
may
recovering.
be it. Well, North Boone hopes that Scott Klicko is not in shock because he's got to go back to work here with a 17-point deficit. Here's Klicko again. And again, he's caught back of the line of scrimmage. And once again, it was Burris who put the original hit on him. Tim Nelson came in to finish him off. Boy, is this Hardin Calhoun Warriors club pumped up right now.
Secondary's doing a great job of coverage, doing a nice job of staying in their zones. When you get against a scrambler like this, what happens normally is the kids will break down and they'll slide out of the zones, and that creates big seams. But they're very well disciplined in the secondary, and they're staying home. They're letting him do all the scrambling he wants, and they're staying right in their zone.
They go to the shotgun on second down. And they go complete, and breaking one tackle and getting up for first down yardage is Brian Reininger. Well, you take a look at North Boone. They have had something happen to them today that has not happened all season long, having teams score on them in the fourth quarter.
But you know what's interesting is they've never got to this point. They've never had this kind of pressure. Everything's been over by halftime. Now here they are in a ball game in the state championship game, and they're down in the fourth quarter.
Good second effort by Reininger, and the ball is in Hardin Calhoun territory. A little swing pass out in the left flat, and that's complete to Barker. Chad Squire makes the play, but that one picks up good yardage as well. Down inside the 40 to about the 38. We're at 7:59 after the clock stops for the out-of-bounds play. It'll bring up a 2nd and 5. There is time here.
Well, there is time, but the clock is obviously the biggest opponent right now, and they've got to do a good job of trying to conserve their timeouts and hit the out routes and get the ball downfield and still stop the clock.
They need 3 scores. And that's scored in the second half. Klicko throwing, looking for Blue. And broken up by Clucky as that one went up for grabs. Jason Blue down around the 12-yard line, but Jason Clucky was right there and almost called for a fair catch because that one could have gone down with snow on it.
Again, you can see they have a 3-man rush, and he lays the ball up in the air. Good concentration by both the defensive back and the wide receiver, and neither one of them come up with the ball.
They got to give Blue credit because he saw that Clucky was there for the interception. Had a better chance at the ball than Blue did, and Blue knocked it away. Now we're at 3rd and 5. High formation slot right. Across the middle looking for Drake. And the play was there, but the ball a little low, and Eric Drake could not make the play at the 23-yard line. And Jeff Gress defending, but you could see that play develop across the middle to Drake, and it was there, but a little bit too low.
Calhoun's doing a nice job of changing up the defense. They'll bring 3, they'll bring 4, they'll stunt the linebackers, they'll play man under 3 deep. They're doing a nice job of changing up. You can see right here it's man coverage with the corners coming across the field. It's man under in zone over the top. Nice job of changing up coverage.
4th and 5, of course, they'll be going here with the receiver split right. And again, he's looking over the middle. He's got some room to run, but now that closes up. Throws this one in desperation, and once again, it's picked off. And Stelbrink, the backup cornerback, makes the play. And in that situation, it's a great play for Hardin Calhoun, yet you wonder if it might have been better off having him just knock it away on 4th down. It cost him about 10, 12 yards.
Well, the thing here is that Klecko is trying to make something happen here, and he's getting an awful lot of pressure. You can see him rolling, but you can watch how he's throwing off his back foot, and he's dropping his back shoulder, and the ball's just laying up in the air for these defensive backs, and they're just all over these people. I mean, there's 3 people right there, 3 on 2, and the ball is not well thrown. And good job of defense by Calhoun.
Stelbrink the interception. Here comes Calhoun again. And Dahlberg makes the stop. And the ball carrier is Pat Friedel, one of the many Friedels on this team, as Rick Johns is now going to some of his bench players. But J.D. Lorton is in there at quarterback. Brother Nate out there at the right half. And Becker is the left half as they shift now. Becker in motion. And again, Pat Friedel, number 35. Stopped by Barker and Herman. The clock now down below 7 minutes. Pat Friedel, 5'6", 143-pound junior. And Rick Johns has the confidence in him in a game that still is not over to bring him in. Of course, he knows he's going to be playing for him next year.
Well, Tony is also a junior, but he mustn't have gotten the second portions of food because he's 200 pounds. So kind of interesting to see the difference. They both play fullback, but they're different styles.
Straight ahead, J.D. for the first down.
Carrier is number 9, J.D. Lorton, and it is a first down for Hardin Calhoun.
While we have a minute, really a big thanks to our spotters today. Mike Meyer from North Boone, Ross Thomas from Hardin Calhoun. We appreciate their work. Lisa Copenhaver from the Illinois High School Association as well. We thank you. Exactly 6 minutes to go. 1st and 10 for Hardin Calhoun. And once again, Pat Friedel. Thanks to our statistician, David Berkson. And let's go down to Joe Passion.
Interesting story about Hardin Calhoun and their facial expressions. We got a shot of the faces of the Warriors. You'll notice there's a lot of facial hair. All the kids stopped shaving after the regular season. And as you can see, some of the players, like J.D., look like mountain men, and others are peach fuzz babies.
That's high school, Joe.
You can see how J.D. looks like a mountain man, but there's some other kids along the sidelines and even on the line that look more like the peach fuzz kids. But none of them have shaved. None of them will till they win a state championship. And I think that the shaving cream is going to be very popular in the locker room after the game here this morning.
Now I know why Mom was cheering out there.
That's right. Yeah.
All right, Joe, thanks a lot. 3rd and 1 here. Under 5 minutes to go. J.D. is met short of the first down. And John Barker makes a big defensive play, which will set up 4th and 1. Just across midfield, and we'll see if they're going to kick this one away against the wind.
You can see the trap right there for the quarterback, but that outside linebacker comes down hard, crashes right down on him, gives him a good shoulder pad right underneath the mustache.
Casey Longnecker is the punter. Now we're going to get an official timeout here. We want to see what that's all about. Remember, coming up right after this one, the Class 2A state championships. Tom Stocker and Steve Mays will bring you the play-by-play of that one. And then later on this afternoon and this evening, Class 3 and Class 4A. And if they're anything like this, it's going to be a good Friday and Saturday here on Sports Channel. Hope you're enjoying this. We know the folks in Hardin Calhoun are right now. And they're going for it on 4th and 1. Nate Lorton in motion, and the give, and again, stacked up. Seems to be short. They brought in Tony Friedel. Barker again makes the big play. It is short of the first down. The ball goes over. Your thoughts on the strategy, Jack? The ball at midfield now.
Well, they've really been holding them. You know, I mean, and the time obviously is in. There's only 3:50 left in the ball game, so I don't think he thought he was in danger of making a real disastrous decision here. But he had really nothing to lose here by trying to pick up the first down. And they've been doing a great job of playing pass defense, so he has a lot of things, momentum going his way.
All right, North Boone goes to the offense again with Scott Klicko, who has spent much of the day running and scrambling for his life. And now they have apparently changed quarterbacks. They've brought in Jeff Garrick. So Garrick is the backup quarterback, and he's going to be throwing. And that one intended for Herman, incomplete. You have to hand it to Scott Klicko. He's been taking shots all year and getting up and just keep going at him, as Dale Purvis would say. And there's Jeff Garrick, as you can see, limited experience right here. He does, of course, play the corner on defense. So he's been in there all day on the other side of the ball. And there is Klicko. Has had an outstanding high school career, and of course doesn't want to see it end like this, but some days are your days, and some days are days like this, Mama said. From the shotgun, Gehrig again, backpedaling, almost to Paducah. And Hurst gets about 5 yards. Longnecker makes the play on him. Clock now at 3:15.
I'm really impressed by the fundamentals of both teams. Both of these teams are fundamentally very sound. Open field tackling, various techniques that they're using. The coaches have done a great job. Both teams extremely well coached.
Gehrig, what a catch. Outstanding catch. Is that Herman? Yeah. That's Dan Herman across the middle, and he was belted by Tony Friedel, but managed to hold on. Let's look at it again.
Great concentration here. Just steps up, drills it. Watch the catch right here. Good hands, good concentration. Nice
Longnecker
job.
got him. Wow. From the 31, first down again from the shotgun. Across the middle. Barker, flag goes down, and Barker gives it up again. Recovered by Hardin Calhoun by Gress at the 2, but hold on, their flags. Barker made a good catch, was hit, fumbled, recovered by the Warriors, but let's see what the penalty is.
I've got to think it's got to be an interference call from where the flag was thrown downfield. That's what it is.
Interference against Hardin Calhoun, so that saves North Boone for the moment.
Right there, you can see him pushing.
Yeah, Longnecker got him in the back.
Not the intended receiver, but one of the other receivers. And of course, the rule is when the ball's in flight, a receiver is not subjected to that.
And the pass interference penalty is different, of course, in high school. It'll be 15 yards from the previous line, so it'll be a first down inside the 20 for North Boone.
That penalty against Hardin Calhoun.
Rick Johns, Kirk Brandenburg looking on there.
Barker's been a little snake bit today as far as hanging on that football.
Gehrig brings him out.
He's not in the game right now. He was hurt on that last hit.
Clock is running. They go from the eye. And down goes Gehrig. He slipped, but that was pretty academic because Mr. Burris was about ready to put the clamps on him back around the 30-yard line. Well, Hardin Calhoun now 2 minutes and 20 seconds away from its first state championship. Got to tell you, they played, as we look at the pursuit, they have played a second half today. And if you don't think this means a lot to these kids, we'll tell you a story in a minute. And 2nd and 22. Gehrig got a man open, but he's in a brown shirt. And that was Nathan Grimes, and Grimes couldn't hold on in the end zone. Hardin Calhoun, after beating Deer Creek Mackinac in the semifinal, not far from here, took a detour by way of the stadium on their way home. As we take a look at the drop pass again. So they came to the stadium. It was already dark, and there was a volleyball game going on in the field house next door, and the coach, Rick Johns, talked to a custodian. They let them onto the playing field here just to walk around, just to get the feel of it in the dark. And he said the players walked around and said, yeah, this is where we want to come back, this is where we're going to come back, and we're not leaving until we have a title. It looks good for them right now, under 2 minutes to go. 3rd down.
Well, that's what it takes. I'm going to call right now
and Klicko back, and Klicko is picked off. I'm sorry, Jack. Dusty Stelbrink again as Scott Klicko came back in, and he is picked off again.
Here's the throw right here. Good technique. But again, just a deflection. But the key to this is there's people around the football, and that makes good things happen. A nice pickoff. See right here, he just stayed right in the zone, did a nice job. Didn't get taken by the fact that there was another receiver there, but just stayed right in the zone and then went for the football.
Off the hands of Reininger, and the pickoff again by Nathan Grimes, a senior. And now with the clock running at 1:35, JD is going to take a timeout here. Well, there's the big trophy and the medals that will soon belong to the Warriors. And Rick Johns is out there with his team, and Looks like we're going to bring in some substitutions now and give everybody a chance to play in a championship game.
It's great. It's a memory these kids will have for a lifetime, getting in the state championship game.
Hey, a look at the second half that Hardin Calhoun has had. Trailing 11-7 after the first 24 minutes. It has been all Warriors here in the second half. 28-11 the score, a minute 33 to go. Jack, I'm sorry.
They really have dominated as far as controlling the clock, controlling the entire tempo of the ball game. They just really moved at will on North Boone.
The first play of the game from scrimmage, North Boone fumbling. John Barker. Hardin Calhoun recovered, went in for a touchdown, and it has been a long day for these folks. They got to the quarterfinals in 1983. They've been to the playoffs the last couple of years. You look there at Scott Klicko, nothing for him to be ashamed of, but he wishes he had this day to do over again.
Well, it's a very emotional situation. Whenever you get into the state playoffs and you've had a great year, there's only one team that's going to end up the season in each category as a winner as far as the scoreboard is concerned, but certainly not with the way they've played.
And with several substitutions in, well, actually, those are the starters who jumped offside. And we're going to get a penalty against Hardin Calhoun here.
You know, there's 30 other teams that never got down here out of the 32 teams that are selected from each division, and they're 1-2, and that's a great tribute to their program, their coach, and their community. And it's difficult to handle the emotions, especially for a 16 and 17-year-old kid, that they have lost the state championship game. But you know, their memories are short from the standpoint of next week, next couple of days, they'll be overcoming. They'll be happy they've been down.
Straight handoff. Pat Friedel. And the clock continues to run. Today's game has been produced and directed by Bob Albrecht. Remote facilities provided by Trio Video of Chicago. The executive producer is John Toohey and Greg Bowman, of course. Sideline truck provided by Century Chevrolet of Bloomington Normal. Under a minute to go here. Remember, coming up, the Class 2A state final. Right after this. JD is still faking and still pitching. And there goes Nate Lorton's got one man to beat. To the 10. Well, so you want to play it safe, huh?
Well,
not this crowd.
The coach might, the kids don't.
Down to the 10-yard line. 56 yards on this play, the pitch and the run.
I could hear the mother screaming for him to pitch it to his brother, give him a shot at it.
Oh, boy.
Does a nice job of running here. I don't know who, the mother, I think, beat him down the sideline there with the cheerleaders.
Clock is running now with 20 seconds to go. 56 by Lorton, Nate, and the quarterback, JD, got 11, and this is a good play right here. They're just going to take a knee and call it a day, and look out. Sandy Lorton, congratulations, Ma. Congratulations, JD, and congratulations to Rick Johns and the whole team in school from Calhoun High School in Hardin. They've got it.
The final score is Calhoun 28 and
Hardin Calhoun 28, North Boone 11. That's the 1A final. And it has been an outstanding game, but one that Hardin Calhoun dominated in the second half, and one going away after being down following the first two quarters. Both teams, you see, know they played well. Handshakes all around. There's Rick Johns talking to some of the North Boone people. A lot of dejected Vikings right there, and a lot of happy Warriors, but everybody's got time to shake hands. You have to hand a lot of credit to Scott Klicko. Boy, did he take some punishment today.
He really did, but he put on a heck of a show for us. Probably one of the better scramblers we've seen in the 7 or 8 years that we've been down here, really made things happen, opened up and spread out the field for North Boone, but just not enough. Calhoun just a little too tough offensively.
And there they go to their fans. And you can hear the reception. Rick Johns, his 97th career win, and by far his largest. And there are some happy kids and a lot of happy parents, because you know those kids are going to be out there with the razor and the shaving cream tonight. Hardin Calhoun, the winner, will be back. Well, the award ceremonies are going on for both finalists, and let's go down on the field and pick them up. Of course, the North Boone players are being given their medals, which, of course, right now they don't appreciate as much as they will when they show them to their grandkids in a few years, Jack.
Well, it's just to be able to play.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the second place trophy in Class 1A will be presented to the Vikings of North Boone High School, who finished the season with a final record of 13 wins and 1 loss.
13-1 on the season.
Presenting the trophy will be Mr. Stevens. Mr. Stevens, if you please.
We'll take that back to the Rockford area, and right now I don't think they're fighting over who's going to bring it back, but it will mean something.
And congratulations to the Vikings of North Boone High School, this year's runner-up in Class 1A.
Jack, you know, we talked at the beginning of the show about how especially the Chicago area schools don't really get to see these smaller schools play, and I think people who watch this one will get a good idea of how much fun and how well this game can be played at this level. Schools with 100, 200 enrollment, where everybody's got to play both ways, and of course half the enrollment's usually female.
Well, as I mentioned right at the end of the ball game here in the fourth quarter, I was very impressed with the fundamentals of both teams. Extremely well coached, and everything that they did was fundamentally sound. The tackling was outstanding for both teams. And of course, you know, this is the cream of the crop right here. You get two teams that are undefeated from their
Ladies and gentlemen, this special medallion is presented to Principal Strout, and these individual awards will be presented to Coach Johns and his team captains by Mr. Newton.
Well, here's the medal being placed over the head of Rick Johns. You know, I've never seen Rick take off that hat. That's the first time, yeah. Now we know. Yeah, he came down here 5 years ago, and we were talking before the game, and he said, in the 5 years that obviously I've had several different classes, several different kids, but he really tried to diversify his offense. That, by the way, is Terry Grass over there, who is a fine running back who was injured. We should mention him. He had gained about 100 yards in a quarter before he went down for the season with an ankle injury. And there's the 1A championship trophy.
And there it is, Mr. Newton presenting the championship trophy.
I mean, look at the haircuts of the kids now, and
to the Warriors
when we first started this
Calhoun,
8-10 years ago, you know, the hair they had to have in hair nets and everything else to get them in the helmet, so the pendulum has really swung. I look at the hair on those guys.
Yeah, that's certainly a devoted couple of fans, or fans with some
state championship.
They might have just came from Thanksgiving dinner too.
Yeah, well, I hope they don't meander too far away. Yeah, take a look at.
You know, I didn't have, at this stage in my life, I don't think I could have facial hair like that. I didn't.
That's why you're young, Jack. Yeah, I understand. That's why they're young. They can do all these great things.
The IHSA is cooperating fully with the Illinois State Police.
Well, there's the first place trophy. There's the first place 1A champs. So we'll be back in a minute and talk to Coach Rick Johns.
Okay. All right, back down here on the field after a 28-11 win, and now 14-0 here for the Warriors this year for Coach Rick Johns and his great team. One of the team players you said that really kind of stands for the kind of personality this team has had all year is Chad Squires. Congratulations on your big win here today as well.
Thank you.
Give us a little bit of idea about how the second half started to develop
particularly with the turnovers came your way and you made some things happen offensively.
Yeah, we came into the locker room and we really didn't panic. It was just a matter of, we thought that we could run some things, and it was just a matter of executing. To tell you the truth, we couldn't understand why some things weren't working. We really didn't make a whole lot of adjustments. We just went out and executed better in the second half, and you know, the offense just took over control of the game. And then Chad Burris' interception really iced it, I think.
Well, we saw a lot of pressure being put on the linemen on both sides of the ball, and it seemed like you guys kept firing off despite they seem to have some size in some areas in there, Chad.
Well, we knew if we could get to their quarterback and just get some hats on him during the day that eventually we'd wear him down. But he was a heck of a runner.
We made a little fun earlier about how the players had stopped shaving after the regular season. What are the shaving plans now that the championship's been won?
We're going to let it grow out now.
Now that you've started it this far, huh?
Yep, we got here.
And, of course, a little bet on the side. You're going to be losing some hair as well while the kids are gaining some.
Well, I've already lost it. I had a full head of hair last week, and I told them if we made it, I'd buzz my hair off. Theirs is all buzzed off, so I had to stand by my word.
I want to go back to the first half, if I can, and talk a little bit more about the game. In that the turnovers, you really forced some things early, and that allowed your team to do some things I'm sure you didn't expect to do as early as you did.
Our team we have great hitters. We wouldn't have a good track team, but I tell you what, we'd have a heck of a demolition crew. You know, we really get after you and hit you pretty good, and I think that set the tone for the whole game. As the game went on, North Boone was a little slow getting up, and they were feeling it after a while, I thought.
We also saw a great effort on the part of the players of the Warriors on both sides of the ball. You talked about how Chad amplifies that type of character. Give me a little bit more insight to that.
Well, Chad's a typical Calhoun Warrior football player, not blessed with a whole lot of great talent, but a kid who works hard all year at it, and you couldn't make him quit with a baseball bat. And you know, that's why I said he was the epitome of the Calhoun Warrior football player, and that's why he's co-captain of a state championship football team.
What was the thing all year long, Chad, when you went up against some of the competition you did? Who was the people beside yourself that kept the kids going, kept them going strong? What were the things that were being said?
Nate Lorton, he's a linebacker, and he was in there all the time. He was, he's always in the game, and somebody get down, Nate get him back up, and Jeff Gress would always put a big hit on somebody, it seemed like, right in the right time when they on a pass, and they wouldn't want to go out for any more passes after Jeff put a hit on.
It seemed also the community, which a large following that came out here today, were really in full-fledged. They seem to be big, and very loud backers.
It's going to be a heck of a party when we get home.
It's going to be a big parade when you get back to Calhoun?
Oh, yeah, they'll be waiting for us. We'll get an escort in, and I tell you what, it's going to be quite the night in Calhoun County tonight.
One last quick thing. What does the championship mean for you? You've come close before. Bloomington Central Catholic, ironically, has always been in your way, and here you are in Bloomington Normal, and you win the big one.
Well, what it means for me, really, is that it's the culmination of a whole lot of work, 12 years for me, and a whole lot of Calhoun Warrior football teams. The 1992 team finished the job, but if you look through our record, we've had a lot of really good teams before that, and I think they've laid the stepping, blocks to finally allow us to, put the flag in the top of the mountain.
Well, have fun carrying it back home, all right?
Well,
Rick,
thank you very much.
Congratulations, Chad. Congratulations on a great ball game. Enjoy your championship. And we will have, of course, more championship football all day long here on this station. But in the meantime, let's send it back upstairs to the guys in the booth.
Okay, thank you, Joe, very much. Well, Rick Johns got his championship, and certainly he had been working for it, Jack, and they did it with a second half that shut down North Boone completely.
Well, they really did. It wasn't the game that we thought in the second half. Matchup we thought in the first half, but all of a sudden Calhoun just established that running game and totally dominated the second half.
North Boone led 11-7. That was going into the second half, but the luck was really with the guys who had the 7, as we'll see in the second half highlights. 3 straight turnovers, and finally Hardin Calhoun has the ball, and they will go in for a touchdown. But before that, with North Boone having the ball just in the shadow of its own goal line on the 1-yard line, let's take a look. A big safety coming up here, Tim Nelson dropping Barker.
Great penetration coming inside underneath the pulling guard and gets in there for the safety.
That makes the score 11-9. North Boone still leading, but watch this pass from the brother act, from J.D. to Nate Lorton right here for 37 yards.
Good fake to the fullback, which froze the corner and the safety, and he gets the ball right in behind the safety and underneath the corner, and he does a nice job of getting down the sideline. All of a sudden he gets popped, and the ball just sits on the sideline. There's tension right there. Great call by the official. Ball is out of bounds.
Just by a second, and Klicko, the quarterback and defensive back, just came up short trying to make that play and pleaded his case to no avail. And the next play, touchdown for Hardin Calhoun.
Just a short option trap where the guard kicks out and the quarterback follows him through. Nice run. He did it all day long. That was a big key play for the second half.
And the one that really put the game away as Scott Klicko, the quarterback for North Boone, was being pressured all day, and here it paid off in points for Hardin.
Well, right there you can see number 55 and number 1 kept him inside and did not allow him to scramble. He wanted something to happen. Throws a duck out into the flat, and it's picked off, and that's a big touchdown. And that really was the turning point right there.
Shad Burris, the lineman, makes the touchdown, and that was it. 28-11, the final score here, and that's the Class 1A state championship final, with Hardin Calhoun getting its first state title.